Alan, Nami, welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you for having us.
Alan, first up, reaching 350 million users, reaching that milestone, how does it feel like?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic achievement, of course, having 350 million users globally, of course. There are very, very few companies in the world who has been fortunate to have this amount of users using your product, loving your product. So we feel very blessed to be here today. So it's a big achievement for us and a huge milestone.
What is the strategy, Nami, that has worked for the brand so far?
Always thinking about, what can we do better? How can we be better? So I think that has been like overarching for the whole app actually, and the experience, and try to make it as simple as possible for everyone to use Truecaller and get benefits out of Truecaller.
Now, Alan, coming to India, your biggest market, there have been quite a few interesting campaigns that the brand has done in the country. Which one has been your favorite?
I think the It's Not Okay campaign that we ran last year in February and March was the one that I was most proud of, because I think the impact we had to create the awareness around women's safety, and what to do, where do you actually go, which number do you call, just bringing this important subject up has always been important to us. But last year's campaign was fantastic. I must say, we got some very, very important people to the whole thing, the scenery that we set up in Delhi. So yeah, I would say that.
Nami, over to you. Today, we are facing threats and nuisance in different forms. Apart from security breaches, there are a range of issues such as missed calls, blank calls, fake calls, etc. that scammers are using, and scammers are getting sharper by the day. What are you guys doing to arrest this?
I think there's a lot of work that has been done from us in the past couple of years. We started out with spam blocking and caller ID, etc. I think we've really specialized in the past 2 years or so in giving you information that also tells you whether this is fraud, like a fraudster is calling you, or texting you, trying to get an OTP from you, and especially for our more senior users, I think that has been a extremely big help and benefit for them to use Truecaller. But aside from that, we're also investing a lot in AI and how to both work with AI in a positive way, but also how to detect AI as these issues are going to just increase globally, I believe. Looking at the speed of development in that area specifically, I think there's, when you create a tool, a hammer, people will figure out both positive and negative ways of using it. And we're always siding with the consumer, trying to make sure they're protected and safe.
Alan, over the past few years, you have fixed several issues, including the app experience for iOS users. How has that worked in your favor, especially in India?
Well, obviously, iPhone is a smaller part of the smartphone distribution in India. And we do have a fairly large amount of iPhone users in India. I would say almost most of them use Truecaller. But we've never really prioritized the iPhone platform because most of our users, 95% of our users, are actually on Android. But we believe that it's going to grow over time, and Truecaller as a company is also going to grow in other markets like the US, for example, where iOS or iPhone penetration is 50-55% of smartphones. So we felt it was time to start investing in that product. So last year was all about rebuilding the product from scratch, making the product good, because we were not proud of the product we had before. And I would say today the product is very good. And last week we launched a new feature called Live Caller ID, where we have been able to make the experience almost on par with Android, where we use the power of Siri. So when a call comes in, you say, "Hey Siri, search Truecaller," and it will search the number. Of course, we would love the experience to be just like on Android, where it automatically does this. But there are certain limitations on that platform. But we hope over time we can fine tune it and make it even better.
Nami, now over to you. Tell us more about how do Indians use Truecaller today?
I think a lot of the feedback that we get from our users is that they use it in both the caller ID and spam protection capacity. Obviously, that's like the first thing that you download the app for. But then what we've been hearing more recently is how Google Pay Care numbers, sending SMSs, trying to fraud people, or sending links, trying to impersonate HDFC websites, getting you to log in with your bank access to kind of collect that information so that they can later on use that information to withdraw money from your account. And all of these cases of fraud happening using SMS messaging, and our capability to both detect them but also caution our users before clicking these links when we know that they are unsafe, and really make them aware, and even like disabling clicking them for the safety of our users. And I think those are capabilities that we built over the past 2 years in terms of fraud detection that has really served our users well, and they're just discovering how capable Truecaller is on the messaging side.
Moving on, Alan, what is the further potential of growth and what are the areas that you wish to tap into?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned, we have only in India around 250 million active users. And there are around 500 million connected smartphones in India. So obviously we have more potential, more people to help and educate and onboard to our product. But I think what's exciting is that the number of connected smartphones will continue to grow every year. So that obviously creates a lot of opportunities for everyone. But the things we are working on around calls and messaging to make that experience safer and more efficient for our users, I think that's going to keep us very busy for quite some time. And our focus is to build functionalities on top of that. So for example, we're going to launch our AI assistants quite soon in India. We just yesterday launched our AI SMS protection service in the product, just like Nami mentioned. So we're building many things on top of this.
And Nami and Alan, this question goes to both of you. Finally, before we go from 2009 to now, how has Truecaller really evolved, and what have been, according to both of you, what have been some of the key milestones of this journey?
We were actually talking about this just yesterday. One of the key milestones for us was the growth that we saw in India. Obviously, that was a turning point for the whole company. But then secondly, when we started our team in India and actually started to grow the team in India, the amount of learning, the expedited speed of development, the product enhancements that came with that, and the talent pool that we could tap into has been amazing. So I think those were two key milestones. Obviously, going public with IPO was an amazing journey as well. But I'll leave some words for Alan as well. Maybe he can share some of the milestones that he thought.
And what do you have to add to that, Alan?
No, I agree to everything Nami said. Another milestone that we both, talked a lot about is obviously going profitable, being a profitable business. We always had the ambition to go break even. So we used to track, how far are we from going break even. And during times like this, when there are uncertainties in the world, economies going down, companies laying off a lot of people, we're actually doing the opposite. So we continue to hire. We just moved into this big, beautiful office in Bangalore, and we're investing in the people that we have and in the future. And that's something we're extremely thankful for.